That gospel passage that you just heard, that is rarely used for funerals. But I'll say some more about that a little later. Right now, though, I do want to say to all of you, thank you for being here to support us. Thank you for your prayers, your sympathy, your caring. And thank you so very much coming here this day to celebrate the life of my mom. You all have been a wonderful source of strength during these very weird days. So our family, on behalf of the family, we thank you and we appreciate you more than we could ever say. When my mom's body was brought into the church just a little while ago, two things happened of great significance. First, Father Abraham sprinkled the coffin and he proclaimed, "As Frances died with Christ in baptism, so may she rise with him to everlasting life." And the next, you notice the white pall was draped over the coffin. Both those actions remind us of the faith that Mom proclaimed and the hope that we share because of the covenant that God carved out with his people. The sprinkling that you saw, that recalls her baptism when she entered into a special relationship with Jesus. It was a relationship that was the foundation of Mom's life and one that she reminded herself of every time she entered this church and every time she dipped her hand in the holy water and made the sign of the cross. And I do clearly remember her telling me and my two brothers not to play in that water and instead to use it to make the sign of the cross. And that white pall, that reminds us of the white baptismal gown that Nana and Grandpa dressed Mom in as a baby, and that it is through baptism that we are all saved and live forever, even though our bodies may die. That, my friends, is our great hope. And then, as an added symbol, we have this lighted Paschal candle here that furnishes the same blessed flame that was given to baby Frances at her baptism. So you see, a funeral is just the other end of the bookend of Christian faith. And as it should be for every Christian, it was Mom's baptismal covenant with God that motivated everything that she did in her life. As Christians, our great leap of hope tells us that surely Mom is in heaven right now, and that her three boys, their wives, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren have a new saint to whom to pray. And Frances McDonald, my mom, age 97, died Monday, August 22nd. That's almost 2 weeks from her youngest son's 66th birthday. And shortly after lunch every day, it was Mom's practice to take a nap around 3:30 each afternoon. And I am told that she just didn't wake up from that nap on the 22nd. There was no trauma. There was no pain. God just opened the final door for her to slip into. And I am sure that my dad showed up and took her by the hand and gave her that sly side smile of his and said, "Come along, dear, this place is good for us." It was also on the 22nd, the feast day of the queenship of the Blessed Virgin Mary. My mom had great devotion to our Blessed Mother, and so I was looking through the scriptures for some quotation or passage of Mary's that would fit this occasion. But here's this weird fact that might leave you all a little bit surprised. Unlike her son, Mary had very little to say in the Gospels. But she does let loose with the prayer at the beginning of Luke's Gospel when she's carrying Jesus in her womb. And that prayer is known to us as the Magnificat. That's what we just heard. It is an astounding prayer from the mouth of a young girl in an occupied land. And these are not words of Mary, meek and mild, about whom I was taught by the good sisters right here at St. Patrick's more than 60 years ago. But rather, those are words of a courageous, determined woman who knows exactly how she fits into God's plan. It is the prayer of a warrior queen. It is a prayer that very much captures the spirit of my mom. It starts off with Mary proclaiming her gratitude to God. It is a love letter that proclaims adoration, praise, and honor for the Lord. The emphasis of that prayer always lands on the Lord. And that is precisely what Mom instilled upon me and my two brothers. God and the church comes first. It is the center of our family life for as long as I can remember. Everything else, she taught us, is extra and usually not needed. And despite the fear and anxiety of the 1950s and 60s, Mom always felt that God really wants us to be laughing and happy. And my mom had a very sharp sense of humor, which I am very pleased was passed along to me and George and John. Next in the prayer, Mary compares the lot of the humble with the proud. He has scattered the proud, Mary says. He has put down the mighty. He sent the rich away hungry and lonely and empty. He has exalted the lowly, filled the hungry with good things. These words and assumably similar phrases Jesus heard daily, beginning from the womb right through to his ministry and his death and into his resurrection. These are the same ideals that we heard and saw Mom say and do when we were growing up. The bottom line was always the poor and the disenfranchised were to be taken care of. The forcibly silent were to be spoken for. The marginal were to be protected. Mom made sure that the hungry were fed and the thirsty quenched, the stranger welcomed, and the needy clothed and comforted. And finally, Mom, like our Blessed Mother, ran the household like the monarch that she was. Aside from all the household chores, breakfast was on the table each morning. And I remember hearing on WOR radio, Ramblin' with Gamblin' playing in the background. Lunch was there waiting for us at noontime. Dinner was served every evening, and the conversation was lively, often political. Then we got a little TV. We usually ended with Terry Toon's Circus. Then we had evening prayers, a tuck into bed, and most of the times we had a read bed story. Those are the memories that will live with me forever. Maybe not the Terry Toon Circus. So today, we gather not to say goodbye, but rather, love you, see you later. For just as we bid our farewells to her earthly presence, we are confident that one day we will see Mom greeting us once again and welcoming us to the home that God and she have prepared for us.